Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I, Chandrika Sharma, on behalf of Her World India, would like to welcome you all. Today, we have all gathered here to mark the occasion of the World Environment Day, and we will be having an insightful conversation with our young team or warriors. We feel privileged to be hosting this show in collaboration with Policy Center and Gender Lab Miranda House, Delhi University. Policy Center and Gender Lab provides research opportunities in the fields of social sciences, gender studies, and policy shape up. So without much ado, I'll introduce all our guests. First off, we have with us Arav Seth, who's deeply concerned by the issue of global warming and its disastrous impact on humanity. He's also the child ambassador for SDG Children. We welcome you. We also have with us Saima Tabassum, who's pursuing the master's in public administration and writes on various social and governance issues. We are grateful for your presence. We also have with us Ananya Kamboj, who's an author, a goodwill ambassador of BRICS countries and has participated in various events promoting gender equality. We welcome you. We also have with us the founder and the editor in chief of Her World India, Ms. Rakhi Bakshi. She's a veteran media professional who has served as a media advisor to Lok Sabha Speaker and was also the senior editor at Rajya Sabha TV and has also worked with Doordarshan and Zee News. She works very passionately on gender issues. Her World India is a brainchild of Ms. Bakshi. Her World India strives for an inclusive and a gender equal world. It's a space that lends voice to women and carry their stories forward. During the session, I request all the attendees to keep themselves on mute. And if you have any questions, you're requested to put them in the chat box. All the questions will be taken up at the end of the session. So without much ado, I request Rakhi ma'am to commence the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Chandrika, you were fantastic as usual in introducing all of us and also very gracious at the same time. I can only thank you for all the efforts that every time you put in. And this is what we are doing. We're also at this platform of Her World India are encouraging a lot of young minds, a lot of young talent here. And today again, a session with very, very young green warriors. As Chandrika introduced that June 5 is World Environment Day, and so on 4th today, we are discussing this very, very important topic globally about environment, about its implications as we are facing as human beings right now, also animals and all the aspects of biodiversity that we will be talking about. I, Rakhi Bakshi, and my team on Her World India welcome you all. And would also expect that this session becomes as engaging as usual as we are talking to different voices and experts each time to gain more insights, knowledge, and inputs. So without much ado, as time permits, I would now start talking to all these very bright and young minds and were so passionately talking on environment issues. I begin with Ananya, of course, and Ananya Kamboj is as rightly introduced, is really working very passionately. In fact, I keep watching her every day, almost doing something or the other in her own right towards protection of the environment. So Ananya, at a time that we are really facing even COVID-19, and it is being said that if we don't protect our environment and climate change, the health hazards would be really great. We are in fact facing it right now. So Ananya, what is your view as to what all should be done as a young warrior or as a green crusader? You've been working so hard. You are talking to, in fact, some of the senior members also. What is your take, Ananya?
So nowadays, amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, it is very important to keep the environment around us very safe. And also, if we don't keep the environment around us safe, we'll of course face health issues. So basically, young people plays an important role in protecting and improving the environment, and they can take up various steps to ensure that the environment is green and safe for everyone.
So, Ananya, what do we do, especially as young people? What do you guys do? For example, right now we are in COVID-19. There's a pandemic. There are a lot of restrictions also as far as health is concerned. We are observing all the COVID protocol behavior, so masking, social distancing, or sanitizing, keeping ourselves very clean, hygienically, health-wise. What is it that you think as young children you would advise, your own peer or even elders as to what should be done?
So, on an individual level, multiple steps can be taken to bring a change in the environment. Like we should close the running tap water when it is not needed. we should carpool as it is the best way to save the environment from the pollution, and we should choose to use the steel water bottles and the cloth bags instead of using the paper bags and plastic bags in order to avoid the plastic materials.
Sure. I go to Arab also, and Arab, I see again your post, and you say that every Sunday also you have a dedicated, mission to protect the environment in terms of, planting trees or making others aware as to how they should protect environment in terms of engaging in such activities which goes on to conserve our region and our circles around us. So, what is it, Arab, that you're doing right now to make other people aware or to protect the environment?
Yeah, so thanks a lot, Rakhiram, for giving me this opportunity to speak in this event webinar. So currently, due to the coronavirus pandemic, I'm not able to do so many activities. But however, with precautions and safety in mind, I carry out plantations every Sunday along with my friends as a part of my movement Sunday for Secure Future, whereby I encourage youngsters to take positive actions for the climate every Sunday. So I have received overwhelming response from states of Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Punjab, and from countries of Togo, Kenya, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Germany, Nigeria, and UK. So along with the Sunday for Secure Future movement, I'm also working for my other initiatives too, like Helping Hands and She Hygiene. So Helping Hand is an initiative where I, along with my friend, encourage people to give us their used items such as books, shoes, footwears, clothes, etc., to help the underprivileged children. Through
Okay.
Helping Hands, we have also served food to children at an underprivileged school. So She Hygiene focuses on distributing sanitary pads to those girls who cannot afford that basic necessity. So I'm also spreading climate awareness through the help of social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And I also collaborate with many climate activists to take part in Twitter storms, which support trends related to conserving our natural ecosystems.
That's a lot of work that you're doing, Arav, and that's really, really impressive. I can tell you that, in my experience, I've been holding so many sessions, but I can share with even participants and viewers who are watching us here that it's a truly matter of
Mom, you're not audible.
I, hello.
Yeah, now you're
Yes,
audible,
ma'am,
ma'am.
you're audible. You're audible.
So, it's a matter of delight for us that we have such young ambassadors who are leading, from the front, so to say. They are showing us the light, the direction. And, that's really, really empowering, I would say. And also, about a subject which is about climate change, which is about protecting the environment. And they're not only talking, they're not only saying something which is out of their syllabus, but it is something that they're talking about, and they're working on it. So there is an action plan that they are working on, and I am going to really talk to them and really going to gain more insights also from my young colleagues on this subject. I go to Saima now, who joins us from Srinagar, and if she can hear us and talk to us. Saima, thank you so much for joining in. I know that you're studying and pursuing public policy. In fact, in Srinagar, I have visited the place. There is so much of natural beauty, nature at its best. What would you say that what should we do to conserve the environment, which is so precious to us? Can you hear us? I'm not sure whether Saima can hear us right now, and maybe we'll try and connect with her once again if her audio is correct. But I must tell you, when I was talking with Saina, and let me put her perspective here, is that she's a very passionate young student who's been talking about the nature, especially in the valley, and so many places are beautiful in and around. In fact, Dal Lake is something which is of prime importance, a place there in Srinagar, and we keep talking about how to make it better and how to make it cleaner. So I'm sure when she joins us, she'll put her own perspective there. I go to Ananya right now. Ananya, at this time when we are talking, climate change is becoming an emergency. I mean, look at, we are 2021 and world over, there are meetings happening, meetings have happened at international levels where India has participated, and we have shown concern as to how to balance this all out. What do we do to really create more awareness among people? There is already, at the senior level, there is a balance, war going on between developed nations and developing nations as to how do we consume, but consume smartly so that there is less of waste, whether it's chemical waste, industrial waste, plastic waste, which is happening, or human beings who create waste. So how do you think we can curb this whole habit of creating waste, Ananya, in and around us?
So for this problem, education is an essential element of the global response to climate change. It helps people understand and address the impact of global warming, which increases the climate literacy among the young people, and it encourages the changes in their attitudes and behaviors and helps them to adapt to the climate change related trends. Education and awareness raising enable informed adaptations and mitigations capacities of the communities, and it empowers women, men, children, youth to adapt sustainable lifestyles.
Okay, that's very well said. And Ananya, something that you pursue, I mean, which you tell your peer group, your friends, your colleagues, even your, let's say, seniors, parents, and other family members, what is it that you could do? What is it that they could do, in terms of walking the talk? As Arav shared with us that there are plans and campaigns that he participates in. You have been featured, already at a very young age. What is it that is your aim? What is it that is your journey also, Ananya, that you're working on when you're talking about environment protection?
So I am supporting Cycling on Monday initiative in the Tri-City, and more than 500 people have joined this, including IAS officers, doctors, teachers, and students. I, along with my sister Ahana, are weekly planting trees in my locality and advocating for no stubble burning to ensure a fresh and healthy environment.
Okay, and in 2030, I mean, that is the goal, that we will look at more consciousness of biodiversity and the balance. In fact, we are also talking about how to create the balance between animals, nature, and human beings at the same time. What is it that we can do again to create this kind of a balance? For example, how do we take care of animal protection also? How do we take care of planting more trees, to how do we not create more waste in terms of hygiene, understanding, what people should do, that what are the daily tips? For example, plastic ban has been done in many, even in states, and India is very concerned about it. We have a Swachh Bharat mission, which is also happening. What is it that, each individual should be doing?
So first of all, there should be a ban on throwing away the contaminants in the oceans and rivers, because uh, if the water is contaminated with harmful substances, it causes major health problems. And then the 22% of the animal species are at the risk of extinction. So the people should not destruct the natural habitats and poach them, as it leads to the introduction of invasive species.
Okay. Arav, do you have any such ideas to share here in terms of when you talk to others every day? You're also watching, as you rightly said, some of the senior members. SDG has such comprehensive plan on environment, both, I mean, all the goals, 12, 13. What would you say is from your point of view and learning from other seniors' experiences that should be done right now?
Yeah, so I think like many things can be taken from, like many examples can be taken from other countries, like regarding waste management. Let's say we can take the example of Germany and take inspiration from them. Like Germany has really put up an effort to manage their waste, to segregate their waste. So that's how I think we should take inspiration and also create our own ways, our own creative and better ways to create better solutions for a better world.
For example, pollution is something which is in front of us. And I can tell you that, first of all, when I heard of mask, it was about curbing, and protecting oneself from pollution and pollutants. And that's how one heard of mask, and then later the virus came. In fact, the virus also, we are told, is can only operate, and this kind of a pandemic takes place when this whole balance of, earth, the biodiversity and climate change, the balance gets somewhere disrupted. And that's where we face such things, which is today becoming so problematic for humankind all over. So we should be more aware, isn't it? What do you think, that in schools and colleges, there should be more interaction, there should be more, written syllabi, for example, where we know more about the environment? Do you have any such suggestion or any such guideline that you guys are working on or appealing for?
Yeah, so I think there should be climate education, which explains about climate change, their climate solutions, and how can we tackle them. And this should be integrated in schools and colleges. And also, I think we need to promote environmental careers which are in the field of environment,
Okay.
may it be like urban farming or aquaculture, sustainable fish farming, which are related to sustainability and also promote the environment.
You know,
I am also planning to give
how
some courses on or a guide to climate activism, which really teaches how we can uh, tackle global warming, climate change, what are the effects of climate change, and what are climate solutions, how can we advocate for SDGs, and how can we use social media as a platform to spread awareness about the climate crisis and other important aspects related to climate activism, which we need to keep in mind.
but
So,
why
these are,
why Arav, at a young age you became conscious about taking up environment as a subject and becoming a crusader?
yeah, so it was actually the absence of like, uh, what can I say, like the environment friendliness in the environment in the society. I think the lack of care for nature that we have in the
Yeah.
society. So that really uh, made me feel that why aren't we doing anything about this? And I didn't want anyone to suffer from the consequences of climate change. So that's
That's
how I got into climate change, and I first started as like planting trees every weekend. Then it became my passion, and till date I planted 4,000 trees, and also gifted about 3,500 trees on birthdays of my friends and relatives.
That's such a good thought. And in fact, I must share that what Arav says, I think we must believe in that when we are gifting, instead of buying something which is not so useful, we should get into the habit of maybe gifting plants to each other, gifting something which is more related to nature, and something which actually creates a chain of protecting the environment. Ananya, I want to come to you and ask you about your journey. You have been working on it with a lot of passion, that of course we have seen, but at a young age, to think so much about environment protection, to think that climate change is something which is knocking at our door and we have to respond to the emergency. Why did you choose to work on this? You could have taken up anything, maybe, as traditionally they say, more interesting.
So basically, my journey with climate change just started in 2017 when I first participated in the Football for Friendship program. Earlier, I wasn't much interested in this topic, but after participating in the program, I got to know that what basically is climate change. Actually, over in the program, there were other name of the teams which were on the extinct animals. So I got to know a lot of information about the extinct animals and why do we need to save them, what steps should be taken. And so after coming back to my home in India, I just thought, and then I thought that why shouldn't I take steps in India to make this to solve this problem? And so that is where basically my journey started.
We see certain things which is part of our tradition, and how do you think we should be able to make everyone understand? So there are classes, for example, we see some in rural areas who don't really understand much about sanitation and how hygiene is related to, again, good environment around us. We sometimes throw things into the river which we should not. We use and throw garbage anywhere. We do not understand how it is really becoming a health hazard, how we are using plastic and related products. We don't understand the use of organic and natural products. How do you think little steps can be also taken in that regard? How do you think we can create that community? You are a very young people, but we are all learning together and create a community understanding, Ananya, where we tell others that, oh, this is right, and please do not do this, it's wrong.
Yes, so for this, we need to educate the people. For example, farmers don't keep a spam of time during the growing the crops of different seasons. So we must teach them that it is very much important to do crop rotation in order to use less of fertilizer and pesticides, as nowadays the food we eat is full of chemicals. So according to me, educating them and creating awareness among rural people is most important.
Yeah, and for example, like Arav talked about the she aspect of it. So you are a female also. So for example, how we sometimes need to be more aware about our health, sanitation also of our bodies as such also, and then also how we are using such products. For example, I must share here that in COVID-19, one of the challenges that we are also facing here is that how to manage the whole garbage which is coming out of so much of masks, floating around, putting heaps of masks, some used masks sometimes, and we don't know how to deal with that. We also see sometimes the PP kit being thrown somewhere. I would urge here on behalf of Her World India, please take care of that kind of garbage also, because instead of fighting the coronavirus, it's actually adding to the problem. So there has to be management of such garbage which comes out of even medical waste products and sometimes devices. So hospitals have to also be a little careful. People and citizens have to be more careful as to how they avail of such facilities, not use it. So has Mr. Sebastian joined at all?
Yes, ma'am.
So please
There
go
was some
ahead.
technical glitch.
Waiting for you to speak, because as I write on behalf of you, I said certain things about Kashmir, especially Srinagar. But please go ahead, Saima, and talk about what is it to protect the environment.
Yes, ma'am. I belong to the place where I can see lofty mountains and picturesque landscapes. So I'm blessed to have such a beauty and such an environment, clean environment around. But this pandemic has taught us a lesson that we wrapped nature with plastic and how nature wrapped us with plastic. So we should take this lesson, and moreover, we should protect our environment, and every this construction or everything we are going to develop the tourist places, it should be sustainable. It is not at this age. From my higher secondary school, I got a position and I made a in science exhibition, I made a model of rainwater harvesting, which was so simple and so much effective that a layman can make it at home, because we need water everywhere, and rainwater harvesting is one of the best ways to use rainwater and to conserve water. As we can see that India has gone up to the rate that we have extracted and we have exploited our groundwater as well, and there is a lot of contamination in our groundwater levels.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In fact, when you were just joining in, I talked on your behalf about Dal Lake, the place that we all visit when we go to Srinagar.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
How important it is to make it much more cleaner and more
Yes,
beautiful.
Dal Lake, it's also called that jewel in the crown of Kashmir. So Dal Lake is not only beneficial for this tourism, it is beneficial in many ways. It adds to the environment, it gives us environmental balance, it provides livelihood to many people. But yes, it has been contaminated and there is a lot of pollution, but Government of India and Government of Jammu and Kashmir is taking many initiatives. Even it's the power of social media that we got many videos in this pandemic also, that many volunteer cleanups were going on there. So many individuals at individual level, many people are trying to clean it. And in addition to this, Government of Jammu and Kashmir is always doing their bit to clean it. We should remove the excess weeds from there, and encroachments which have been going on there, that should be stopped. There should be a multi-pronged strategy, because Dal Lake, there people usually go for there not only to see the Dal Lake, but boating, trekking, bird watching, all the things are going on there. It is just the ultimate beauty. And you know that there are the many Mughal gardens which are near Dal Lake, and you can feel the breeze of Dal Lake being in the Mughal garden. And you can
talk, Saima, but talk to us also about the whole importance, and then I want to go to Arav also. Saima,
yes,
is that
Dal Lake has an economic value, that there's fishing going on, that it provides livelihood to many people. It has many economical values. It's the best tourist place in Kashmir, and any tourist which comes to who comes to the Kashmir, they first visit this Dal Lake.
okay, but many such places, Saima, and this is also for Arav and Ananya, that talking about again tourism. So how do we actually sustain the beauty, environment, and everything all together? Because let's say, for example, in Goa, there has been so many problems. There are such beautiful beaches, but when you go there, you see such plastic waste all around and such garbage around. There is a drive, cleanliness drive going on. I'm sure the government is at it. Also, some of the places of vacation, when you go, you see people not really understanding much and creating a disturbance through their bad habits, I would say, which creates problems for overall environment. So, Arav, what would you suggest also? Holiday, but holiday well, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think first of all, we need the locals of the city or the country to be like sustainable and environment friendly. First of all, so if a tourist visits in a country which is following eco-friendly rules and takes good care of the nature, then he or she will automatically have a sense to conserve to maintain its beauty by not really damaging it by throwing plastic bottles uh, um, or any of the waste things. Otherwise, even if the tourists do not really uh, do that, do not have a sense of care for the nature in the country, then we can take example of Indore, where if a tourist even throws a plastic bottle on the road, they are fined for that. So these small things are really important.
Very nice.
So
At a young age, when you're talking about it, let's take a lot of courage from what these young ambassadors of environment are saying. For example, what Arav just said, that we have to be very aware, conscious as citizens, that we have to, take care of our environment, the region that we operate in. Otherwise, there should be strict punishment also. Ananya, any such innovative idea that you have that we should do? For example, the governments are at it. They're finding people. There are more punishments now. There are environmental laws which are very strict, at a macro level and a micro level both. What would you say, Ananya, that should also be done?
According to me, I feel that if a tourist is visiting India, if a foreigner visit, they of course follow the rules, because the laws which are followed in abroad are very much followed strictly. But in India, the laws are not followed by the people. So there should be a strict ban on throwing the garbage when we go out. And also there should be, I feel that there are not enough bins in various places to throw the garbage. So the government of the particular state should build up bins in different localities, so that people can throw the waste over there. And if they are not following the rules, so they should be fined very much strictly.
Yeah, in fact, the waste disposal system in some countries are so brilliant, and we should take more learning from there. We are learning each time in terms of transportation, how we are looking at e-vehicles, how we are looking at cars and such electronic items which do not create any kind of waste. We must take care of these innovative ideas, innovative practices, which of course we are sometimes borrowing from abroad. But as a nation, India has been known for believing in hygiene and cleanliness, and we in our Vedas we have understood the importance of being swachh, and being clean. So I think it's all related. It's all related to health. For example, we should have more toilets, which I'm sure the government recently has worked on, so that we do not, create such matters where people sometimes go out and defecate, which also creates all kinds of problems. So these facilities should be interwoven so that environment is protected, not in isolation, but it becomes a very coordinated kind of approach, integrated approach. Saima, I want to come to you also, since you're pursuing public policy. What all one should do as young people, as adults, to make people understand. Sometimes when you say, oh, environment ko bachana hai, people say it's not for me, it's for someone else. So for example, people do not even switch off their lights and fans and all that. They not conserve water. It's very, very small steps they do not undertake because they don't understand how important it is, Saima.
Yes, ma'am, exactly. We have a lot of policies and programs which are already there. We have Environment Protection Act, we have solid waste management rules, but there is a low awareness among people. There should be a coordinated effort. There should be citizen coordination between the citizen, various organizations which are working from environment and the government of the respective states. They should work in a coordinated manner, and there should be a bottom-up approach. Bottom-up approach is must for this, because to make a policy and to put it on paper is not enough. We should make the implementation of the rules very much strict, and we should strictly follow the rules. And awareness among the public is very much necessary, and this can be created by creating many awareness programs at the panchayat levels. We have a network of the panchayats this time, and it is a technological world, and social media can be used as a channel, and we should make many awareness programs in schools, at school level, at secondary level, and at every panchayat. So I think the awareness among the public is very least this time. So it is, and we should promote locally and environment friendly products so that the pollution becomes less and less.
Very true, very well said also. And I think, at this time when we are talking, apart from COVID, we have also seen cyclones. We have seen cyclones in certain areas, and it has really devastated so much, and its impact has really touched lives, and disasters are happening. And we know that how much correlation disasters have with the environmental damage, which is also happening. And this is a global concern. And we're almost sitting on a volcano, as they say, but we are not understanding that after some years, there would be less resource in terms of water. There would be less resource in terms of anything which we take for granted right now. We took granted maybe the air, and right now we're facing the problem. COVID-19, the coronavirus is in air. So we have to understand that if we do not understand the importance of environment protection, the daily habits, the small steps, we are in a danger zone. Ananya, anything else that you want to say? Any message to other people?
The message from my side is that the climate change is here, and its impacts are going to get worse if we not act now. So we should create the network of influencers to advocate and to energetically root for climate change. Youth should raise up their voices and work for climate change, as they are the ones who are going to be the future generation.
Okay, for example, we just observed the cycle day, so let's enjoy. We should not also look at environment protection as something which is like a serious subject. We should make it more enjoyable, use things which are around us, use things which really help us in sustainable development. You all are SDGs young ambassadors, and how we should really understand that sustaining along with development would be a great idea. Arav, any message to other people, young adults from your side?
Yeah, sure. So, what I would like to suggest to not only to the youth but everyone is that they should follow like an approach, the 3H approach. So it is aware, amplify, and act. So these 3A's are the keys to the growth of being a climate activist. And awareness is an important aspect when it comes to climate activism. So one must make people aware about prevailing issues and the work he or she is doing, because awareness is not only educates people but also makes them a part of the change. So being a climate activist also requires you to amplify others' voice as well, who are playing their role in solving climate issues. Action should be taken on ground level to bring a visible impact in the community. So
Okay.
we also, yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. So we also need to see the borders, see beyond the borders. To make a climate movement worldwide, we need to fight together for climate issues all around the world. In other words, we should not only work for the issues within our own countries, but also look out for climate issues worldwide. I think every person needs to realize that they have the power to change the world. The only need to utilize this power is to utilize this power in the right direction. At last, I would conclude by quoting that what we are doing to the nature is but a mirror reflection of what we are doing to ourselves and to one another.
That's very, very empowering. And you know what true words that is coming from young ambassadors like you, and you are really, as they say, passing the baton on from you to others. And at a young age, you're really doing wonders. And I can only compliment all of you. Saima, your message, and then I conclude.
Ma'am, yes, we should use reduce, reuse, and recycle model. At least everyone should plant a tree, and we should educate to our near and dear ones about the benefits of the sustainable development. And we should volunteer for the cleanups, and everyone should protect its environment. And more and more water harvesting should be done. And yes, we have a very good technology nowadays. We get the forecasting about everything. So yes, we should appreciate all the scientists and the research and development which is going on, but there's a lot of scope to do much and more. And there should be a strict implementation of all the policies and programs of Government of India, which are in implementation stage.
Okay, is there any question that anybody wanted to ask and is still there to ask? Shamini? Okay, you think that they have really answered all the questions, so maybe we'll take it up later. But I can only thank you once again. And I'm sure that, you know, others who have watched you and who listened to you and will further watch you on YouTube as well will only learn a lot. So I think small tips that I must reiterate once again: save water, save electricity, conserve energy, which is very, very important. Try and use natural methods. Try and use even natural food when it comes to you know, using that in daily life. Less or no use of plastic at all, it's harmful. And many other things which are around us, and we must keep learning from our circle, from the society, from the places around us. Be more aware as a citizen. The government is at it, but let's have, you know, a partnership of progress and development which is sustained altogether. So a very happy Environment Day, which is of course tomorrow on 5th of June, but we really wish all of us all the best. So Arav, Ananya, and Saima, thank you so much for joining this session, and it was completely a wonderful session, and I enjoyed it as much as everybody did. On behalf of Her World India, my team, and everyone else, let me thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
It was a really enjoyable session.
We'll meet again on some other occasion or some other subject and theme, and we'll talk again.
Sure.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.